Hey, greetings. Salutations, my friends. Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. Want to talk a little bit today about team building and who do you determine who you work with and for how long, okay? I think this is a pretty valuable lesson for people in team building and the development of an organization and network marketing is, figuring out who do I spend my time with? Who do I invest in, okay? I guess the short answer would be I'm going to invest in people that invest in themselves. I'm not talking about financial investing. Just because they gave the company money isn't enough of an investment for me to like lock arms and dig in with you and work with you. I think regardless of whether it's a personally enrolled person, someone that you personally brought into the business, or somebody in depth in your organization, how do you determine like who are the individuals that you're going to spend time with? Because the thing that we never can get back is time, right? So we have to be protective of our time and only really spend time with people where if I spend time with you, we're going to get a return on that time. We're going to get a financial return on the time that's invested. This isn't about being cold or being mean. This is just about being smart in business. You're going to invest time, invest effort, invest energy in the people on your team that are showing up. And so what's interesting, because like in the network marketing business, and I think like other businesses as well, we don't, a lot of times we're not signing people up into businesses with us, but like insurance, for example, like the insurance industry is very similar in many cases to network marketing from the standpoint of how it starts. And most insurance agents will typically start, like, for example, with a warm market list, and they'll, I'm starting this Allstate insurance agency. I'm going to call all my friends and see if I can, do my friend's insurance, right? It's pretty typical. In fact, a lot of businesses actually start like that, where they start warm market. Like if you started a dry cleaner or something, or you open up a restaurant, you'd, probably message all your friends, say, look, I just opened up this Italian place. I'd love to have you come down and, enjoy some of our pasta and, come on down and check it out. And that's always obviously a great way to start any business through warm market. But what's interesting is when it comes to determining who we invest our time in, sometimes there's people that have guilt associated with, I brought my friend in, and my friend's sitting there and they're doing nothing. Like, what am I supposed to do with this person? Am I supposed to, try to like push them and make them and force them to do something? Like, I think the thing about you got to understand about this business is you can't make anybody do anything. You can't force anybody to do anything. You could be there, be available, be willing. I'm ready to run with you. I'm ready to work with you. Let's go. But they have to be willing to go. So if they're just like, and I've done this many times, right? I've recruited people and they never do anything. And it's like, okay, wait, you gave the company money. Let's say it was my best buddy. My best buddy comes in and he pays $1,000 to join this company, and then he just sits there and doesn't do anything. And all of a sudden I'm like ridden with guilt because I brought my friend in and my friend spent $1,000 to get involved in this business and he's doing nothing. And it's like, oh, I'm feeling so bad. Maybe I should give him money back. Maybe I should buy his package back or give him, and I know people have actually done that. They felt so guilty that their friend didn't do anything. It doesn't matter whether it's a friend or an associate or acquaintance or somebody you don't know. The people that you work with are the ones that through their actions show you that they want to build. And it's like, I'll give you a funny example. I moved into this house in Scottsdale about 10 years ago. And I had this neighbor, this family across the street from us. And what was interesting is we had moved in and moving day, and then I was in my garage like 2 days later, and I saw this woman in the garage across the street from me, and we got eye contact with one another. And she clearly knew we just moved in because the moving trucks were there the day before. And we got eye contact, and immediately both of us kind of like started beelining towards one another. And we literally met in the middle of the street. Like I started walking and she started walking and we met in the middle of the street and I introduced myself and she introduced herself. And so it was two parties walking towards one another, which caused this introduction. Same kind of concept here in network marketing, right? And what was very interesting is her husband was, I'd be in my garage or I'd be in the front yard and he would be in the garage and I would look at him and he would look at me and I would kind of like make the move where I would, move towards maybe going and saying hi to the guy, but the guy just would like look at me and then, just meander around his garage. It was like a year later before I finally like was, he was so far out in the front yard and I was like, I was, we were like, but basically on the sidewalk. And I was like, hey, we haven't met yet. And I literally, and he still stood there like, and I walked across the street and introduced myself. But like, think about that. And we use that example in network marketing, like, okay, which one would you work with? You'd work with the one that's walking towards you. This guy that like, it was literally a year later that I finally met this guy. And I just think it's funny that you've got, people joining your business and you're trying to figure out, well, who do I work with? You work with the people that are showing up. You work with the people that are working. You can look, whether it's a personally sponsored person, a person that's, 5 levels deep in your organization, a person that is, where it doesn't matter where they are in your group. Like, and I think that's another important part of this lesson is you should be not just working with people that are frontline personally sponsored, you should be looking for activity in the organization and figuring out how you can assist those people that are already showing up. So I'm always looking through the genealogy report and going, oh, well, who's this person right here that, came in last month and brought 65 people in or brought 18 people in or grew a team in their first month of 52 people or whatever it is. And it's like, I don't even know who that person is. I'm going to go out and at least introduce myself, make myself available, and let them know that they've got resources and people that, can certainly be there to assist them if they need any kind of help. So I just think it's an important conversation to have because, I literally had this, in fact, the reason I'm doing this episode is I had a chat with somebody like 3 days ago. It's like, I don't know, who am I supposed to work with? Like, how do I get these people motivated? I'm like, I don't know. But you're a motivational speaker, Todd. I'm like, you might call me that, but I'm not here to motivate. Like if you get motivated by something that I say, that's entirely your fault. Something that I say sometimes, but it's not. I don't really look at myself as a motivational speaker. I think it's more, you can't make somebody do anything. You just can't. Like if you put somebody in the business, they've got to have the desire. They got to want it. Now it's part. I suppose we can assess some blame to ourselves if we sign somebody up and then throw them in the business and never give them any direction or any guidance whatsoever and just like, hey, I hope it works for you, which is clearly not a very, very powerful strategy for growth. Signing somebody, it's like that's the same thing as like selling a box of your products to somebody and then never calling them again. You bought a box from my website and I never called you again. First of all, I don't even know how to take this stuff. The guy that sold me this stuff never called me. And I may not even open the box. I might return the box. But if you like reach out like, hey, did you get the box? I got the box. Cool. Let me show you how to use this stuff, when to use it, how to use it. You stay connected with him. You stay consistent in helping that person figure out how to get a good product result. You're going to probably keep that customer. So, but again, we're typically not to blame. We're only to blame when somebody who comes in, we don't give them anything. And that's part of your responsibility as a sponsor is to provide support and assistance, never to do it for people. No, that's not what we do here. And I've also had people that will sign their friends up and they feel so bad that their friend never did anything that they go start putting people on their team for them, or they're like, hey, give me your list, I'll call your list for you. I'm like, I'm not calling anybody's list for anybody. I'll do reach outs with you, but I'm certainly not going to do it for you. So I think that just determining who on your team that you work with is really very, very simple. And again, it's not just frontline. Could be anywhere in depth. You're working with the people on the team that are making an effort, that are showing up. And the ones that aren't, they're not. If they're not showing up, I I got nothing to pour into you if you're not pouring into the business at all. If you can't get through a basic training, or you can't, do some fundamental things to get up and running, why should I spend my time with you? I pointed you, I signed you up. I said, let's do a strategy session. You're like, cool. You canceled on the strategy session. I plugged you into a basic training. You haven't gone through the basic training. I gave you a training on how to navigate the back office. You didn't go through the back office. I tried to set up another strategy session. You canceled on that one. And I'm supposed to work with you? I'm supposed to stay on top of you and try to get you going? I'm already on to the next person, working with the next person that is showing up. And I got no guilt associated with it. None whatsoever. So just, I don't know, some thoughts. This guy called me the other day and we were chatting about this, and he's like, how do I know who to work with? I'm like, dude, you work with the people that are showing up. I brought a bunch of people in, they're not doing anything. How do I get them going? I don't know. No, did you plug them in? Were you willing to help them? Did you get them plugged into your getting started training? Oh yeah, I was like there, and they just never activated. Okay, go find somebody who will activate, and then work with that person if they're through their actions or showing that they want to do something. So pretty simple stuff, but sometimes it needs to be talked about. So I don't know where you're at. You might be on my website, which is great. Love that. If you're on YouTube, what's up, YouTubers? If you're on my podcast, listen to me on audio, beautiful. I want to come over here, get some more details, get other resources right here for this episode, toddfalcone.com/episode 153. Again, TODDFALCONE.com/episode 153. We'll see you next time.